Castle Under Siege by Joanna Lawson, illustrated by Christopher Sear. Frame 1. Two young medieval children appear high in a castle turret, pointing downward and looking alarmed. In the text in the narrative caption explains, in the before time, Roland and his sister Enid talk about trouble in the family. The first speech balloon tells us what Roland is saying. Grandfather gave the castle to father. Enid's response is written in the second speech balloon, but Uncle Bart is older. He thinks it should be his. Frame 2. The narrative caption tells us there is a big problem. Uncle Bart has his army in front of the castle. Roland and Enid look over the stone walls at the army below. Roland complains. The king promised to hear the dispute in the spring. Enid responds sadly. Uncle Bart isn't waiting. I wish father were here. Frame 3. The two are concerned. They are very afraid. Roland says, if Uncle Bart lays siege to the castle, we won't last long. Enid agrees. I know. We'll starve. Frame 4. Roland has a plan. He says, we must go to the king. Drusilla can fly us there. But Enid is concerned. She protests. No one is allowed to meet her. Remember when we met? In the narrative caption is the question on everyone's mind. Who is Drusilla? Frame 5. Enid had said, remember when we met? Now the story takes us back in time. It takes us to when the children discovered Drusilla. The narrative caption tells us, while hiking, Roland and Enid make a new friend. It's a large, friendly dragon. Magically, Enid and Drusilla exchange thoughts. Drusilla thinks, we will be friends, young lady. I can hear your thoughts. The next thought balloon tells us, friends, yes, I can hear your thoughts. I'll tell my brother. Notice the difference between a speech balloon and a thought balloon. Frame 6. Drusilla communicates again with Enid. The children must promise to keep a very important secret. Enid gets the message. My name is Drusilla. My friends, you must never tell anyone about me. Frame 7. The children have come to Drusilla for help. The friendly dragon understands Enid's urgent request. Drusilla, we need you to take us to the king tonight. Please land on the highest roof of the castle at midnight. Frame 8. Drusilla communicates with Enid. Enid, you and your brother, climb on my back. I know where the king is. Frame 9. High in the sky and through the long dark night, the three friends go on a magical airborne journey. The narrative caption tells us, to see the king. Frame 10. Drusilla flies the children to a different castle. Somehow she knew where the king was. Drusilla communicates with Enid. The king sleeps in that castle tonight, and someone else you know is on his way. Farewell. The children are puzzled. Who else is coming to the castle tonight? Frame 11. The children are safely within the castle. It is very late at night. The narrative caption tells us Roland and Enid will wait to see the king in the morning. Roland says, we'll sleep here until morning. Enid continues to wonder. I wonder who else is coming. Frame 12. Mystery solved and great news for the children. Their father has arrived at the castle. The narrative caption tells us The children's father was on his way to see the king. Surprised, the children blurt out together, "Father, we found you! We must speak to the king. Uncle Bart has our castle under siege." Frame 13. Enid tells the king the terrible news. She says, "So, that's the story, Your Majesty." The king is surprised and dismayed. "Bart was to keep the peace. I said I would settle this in the spring." Now the question in the narrative caption. What will the king do now? Frame 14. We are told in the narrative caption, the king is angry. Immediately, the king summons his most trusted knight. The king commands, "Take 20 armed men. Escort this family to their home. Tell Bart he is to keep the peace or else." Frame 15. Led by the knight, the king's men escort the family to their rightful home. Father has placed his children behind him on the back of his large, powerful charger. The king's knight confronts Bart's armed men. With sword drawn, the knight demands, "Lay down your weapons. I come with the king's orders." Frame 16. Bart steps out from behind his wooden fortification. He approaches the king's ambassador. Firmly, the knight communicates the king's orders to Bart. "By the king's command, you will leave this place. In the spring, the king will settle your dispute." Reluctantly, Uncle Bart complies. "It does not please me, but I will obey." Frame 17. Uncle Bart confronts his niece and nephew. "How did you get past my men last night?" Roland smiles at Enid and replies, "Uncle Bart, we're so small. It was such a dark night." Enid knew what Roland was thinking. The narrative caption says, Enid and Roland will not reveal their secret. Frame 18. Finally, the siege is over. The narrative caption tells us, Uncle Bart keeps his word. The castle is safe. Frame 19. Roland, Enid, and Father have their castle back. The narrative caption tells us that the people in the castle greet Roland and Enid as heroes. One of the residents leads a cheer. "Hooray for Roland and Enid!" Another calls out, "Thank you for saving us!" Still another shouts, "Tell us how you did it!" And so, as the words in the narrative caption tell us, Enid and Roland tell their story. Frame 20. The children are happy and excited to tell their story. They took turns telling all the details. One speech balloon has Roland saying, "We knew we had to get some help from the king, so..." Another has Enid remarking, "We traveled as quickly as we could." But the children had promised, and so they didn't tell their secret. The children told their story, but as the narrative caption tells us, or at least most of it.